We'll do it live. We'll do it live. Hey, everyone. Welcome to Table Moments Live. I'm your host and Captain Ayman. This is the Homies podcast. I think I need to change that. The tagline doesn't quite. I guess it is sort of like a Homies podcast, especially when you guys are in the chat and stuff. I should be like more diligent about like going live on certain days, and I should have went live on Sunday, but I didn't. Whatever. It's just like I let my mood dictate all this stuff, which I know it's not correct, but what if I could do something different? And it's not an excuse for laziness, guys. But if you're new here or you stumble on this video, this is a podcast about anything and everything. There is no theme. There is no niche. It literally is just the brainchild of whatever comes out of my brain, essentially, at this point. It used to be a siblings podcast, but they've dropped off and I'm the only one left. And frankly, I was the only one pushing it because I see this could be something much bigger. And I'm understanding more and more how big this could be, or not even how big, like the important role this can play in people's lives, not just for the content, but also for the people who need attention. Because I'm realizing like so much in the world depends on attention. It's crazy. And from a consumer side, you probably don't have an appreciation for it, but from the business side, it is absolutely vital to the health of a business, your ability to get attention and to get it in an affordable way. And one of the things I'm dealing with now, because I sell these minimalist wallets, by the way, upgraded design coming soon. This is actually really cool. I upgraded the corners here. I want to give you guys the options. I have 3 different colors of this corner. And this is the red colorway. So clean, I swear. Like I even have like reinforcing metal in there too. So this is a prototype, but essentially I sell these wallets. Okay, I've been selling these wallets, and I'm realizing like, all right, getting attention, getting people to know about your product is the toughest thing about business. Like this is a great product because I use it every day, and plenty of people have used it, and people have ordered multiple of these once they've ordered once. But the challenge is getting enough people to know about it. So I'm realizing like attention is everything, man. It really, I don't know. I'm actually reading this book called How to Write a Great Advertisement by Victor O. Schwab. And in here, like I'm about halfway through, but there are some really depressing things about the human condition that they are honest about, which, because it's like you have to sell to people, and people are a certain type of way, and the kind of dispositions about them and what they care about is, how do I say this without sounding insulting? People are disappointingly basic in their interests, and this book explains that and how to, if you're going to sell to people, understand people are entirely motivated by self-interest and in certain ways. So let me check this out. Let me see if I can give you an example here. So like, let's see. Okay. Let me read a few lines here. To help you do this, all right. It was written by a sociologist, and it does not, unfortunately, portray a more heroic picture of the trends of mass psychology than we have already painted of the individuals. Briefly and broadly speaking, I think that the general trend of our time seems towards a preference for success instead of integrity, spending instead of saving, restlessness instead of rest, self-indulgence instead of self-discipline, desire for the new or novel instead of affection for the old and tired, show instead of solidity, dependence instead of self-reliance, gregariousness instead of solitude, luxury instead of simplicity, ostentation instead of restraint, easy generosity instead of wise giving, and quick impressions instead of careful thought. Is that not a description of this book was, how old is this book? It perfectly describes 1962. Things have been changed. They haven't changed. And it's just like, so the following paragraph, it's like it or not, these are the trends which the thoughtful copywriter must consider when writing copy based on mass appeal. Copy being the stuff on a website or advertisement or whatever. Despite happily the many commendable human desires and appeals previously discussed, and to those people with enough years of observation of the human race behind them, there is obviously sufficient validity to these trends to justify their inclusion in the copywriter's frame of reference. I think all the things I just read here are more true now than they've ever been, which is such a shame because it's like, at least with the content I've been trying to put out, I actually want to elevate the human spirit. But if you're going to sell to people, it's like, don't even bother trying because people are not interested in that at all. And I'm finding that to be true actually with the content. It's the dumbest stuff, the most shallow, basic, in the grand scheme of things, uninteresting stuff that does well. Like I have a video on TikTok. I stitched a video of someone talking about like a 3-point line dispute, NBA call or whatever. And the only reason I made the video was to see if I could put together a video without saying a word. And so it was all demonstration about how possibly it could have been considered a 2-pointer instead of a 3-pointer by demonstrating parallax, the distortion of things when you look at them from a certain angle. It's approaching 20 million views now. Dumb video. Hella dumb video, but 20 million views. It's crazy, man. It really is. And it's just, man, it's just, here's the thing. What I'm trying to do here is attract people who are looking for something more than just the basic, which is why I am deliberate about the content I make. Like even the piece of content that brought you guys here on YouTube, it's the $2 bill video. In the end, I give a moral lesson about paper. It's just paper. It's not something, I don't know, people overvalue this stuff. You need it to live because the rest of the world runs on this stuff. But I mean, like, to be a slave to it, they just, I don't know. There's a fine line. I can't say I've quite figured it out. And especially going into business, understanding like how tough business can be and actually be profitable and stuff, and how the beginning's always the toughest, and getting attention, getting people to know about you and all that stuff. I'm realizing how hard it is. Even when I was starting this whole idea of like a podcast about anything and everything, it's like everyone, it counters all the advice anyone in social media would ever give. Most people will tell you, go niche down. That's the right strategy. It's like, yeah. And here's the thing. This isn't the only social account I have. I've experimented with other types of content niches. And yes, it is absolutely way easier to grow when you have a niche. Absolutely. It's not as big as what I've done here for Table Moments, but it's grown to the point it has in less time with less effort. And I'm just like, I get it. But then you end up sacrificing yourself as part of doing that because you just become that one thing. And I've refused to give up myself as part of this journey. And is that selfish? I don't know. I think, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It's just, I'm always constantly debating about strategies on how to handle this stuff. A lot of people fall in this trap of like becoming a slave to these platforms. And I don't trust any of them. None of them. And I know some people, whichever one they have success on is the one they defend. If you'll notice, like the people who have the biggest audience on TikTok will be like, TikTok's great, everything's amazing about it. And especially when their livelihood depends on that particular platform, man, it's so easy to see people just like argue in favor of their self-interest. And it's just like, okay, you're so objective here. The biggest audience Table Moments has is on TikTok, and I can tell you TikTok is a crappy platform in terms of the way they switch things up and change constantly, and how they change the rules all the time without informing anyone. And so everyone's just like, what the hell? Like, it would have been nice if you told us that you switched things up. But so that's, yeah, it's just a weird thing going through this journey and stuff. So as far as like the wallet business, wallets are not a good business to get into, but I think it'd be cool to offer customizations. So this is the red wallet I have right now. This is my daily. It is thinner than a Ridge wallet and it carries more. This is an empty Ridge wallet. I actually have one here. I don't like mentioning another brand It's like a faux pas, right? You're not supposed to. But here's the thing. I actually bought this just because I wanted to study their packaging. I do that, guys. I go that far. So this is a Ridge wallet here. Um, that's what we're talking about here. So, boom. Look at that. This is empty. And this is full. 6 cards here, a bunch of bills, you know. I think my name might show up on one of them. But yeah, that's what we're talking about here, guys. That's what we're talking about. Yeah, that's what we're talking about here. Boom. Yeah, empty. And you can actually sit on this and not feel it, which is why I have the copy on the website is the Forgot It in Your Pocket wallet. Only just based on the feedback I got from people telling me like, yo, I forget this is actually in my pocket. I'm like, I didn't even consider that. I think the copy definitely needs some improvement, so I'll be working on that over the next few days. Also updating the pictures. I got a light box here. So I'll be taking better pictures, and that'll be cool. And then hopefully we can actually increase the conversion rate. Might have to redesign the whole website. But it's just like all these little pieces you have to get right before you can even be successful at this stuff. And then things change. So that's the dilemma when it comes to this whole like small business, e-commerce, direct to consumer space. It's a really tough thing to do because there's so much you have to figure out and so much you have to get right. And then if you have a low price point, something like sub $50, probably sub $20, it's just like, it's nearly impossible because everyone's got to eat, right? Everyone's got to eat. The platform's got to eat. Payment processors got to eat. The manufacturer, if you have one, has got to eat. Or the suppliers for the materials that you get got to eat. The ad platform that you need to promote your product, they got to eat, and they eat big. They have a heavy appetite, guys. Facebook, it's tough, man. It's tough, and I don't know how people are surviving out here, especially considering like our platform isn't even, they switch things up also. It's just a shame. It's just a shame. So I'm thinking like, what if Table Moments could be a platform where we can actually explore new and interesting ideas and then maybe even give people some attention. I just interviewed a guy who does comedy content on social media. I'll be editing that and publishing it soon. But I think for guys like that and anybody else who is working on stuff and just needs a little more attention, or maybe if I don't know if Table Moments is at that point yet where like, it's not Oprah territory where I could just make people, you know, like a kingmaker type thing. Not that I care to be one. It would be really cool if I could bring someone on and it shortcuts the process for them. Immediately they have an instant success because, or at least the kindling. It's like the spark that starts the whole thing for them. Because I remember how it was in the beginning with Table Moments. It was a whole lot of nothing for a long time. If you go back, and the cool thing about YouTube is you can sort by oldest to newest. Look at the old videos, man. They're not good. But the content is actually decent. That's the thing. I listened back to some of these podcast clips, which is what it was. There was no my face. There was no visual element. It was literally just the image of the old logo for the Table Moments account. And then, and then just the audio clip. And that's all it was. And that worked. That actually worked. And some people and here's the thing. The content was good. I like to think the content was good. Let me double check. Let me make sure the audio here is working. Yeah. All right, cool. I didn't prepare anything for this stream. I think I'm just going to riff it. But I think as far as like monetizing the podcast, it's crazy when you're working on something like this. Like, you have to accept that you're going to lose. You're going to take L's, a lot of L's. And I've done that. And I mean, yeah, you could look at the numbers and be like, oh, you're successful, whatever. It's like, no, not even close, man. Like, I'll consider this venture successful when I can help other people. Right now, the only person I can help is myself. And even then, I haven't been using it to its full potential. I don't know. It's hard for me to justify why. Because it's like, I know how tempting it is to like monetize the things, the work. But here's the thing. I think it was Alex Hormozy who talked about like delayed gratification. And for me, it's just like, all right, let me hold off on being able to eat off of this as long as possible. Because I think it's like you're storing acorns, you know? It's just like you're just adding. It's just adding to the treasure. You don't have to cash it in just yet. Or like when you're in Chuck E. Cheese or something, you don't just go to and redeem prizes after every win. No, no, no. You collect tickets. You collect tickets before you redeem, and I think that's what I'm trying to do here. Uh, it's hard to describe, but if I'm right, this will pay off big, not just for me, but for anyone else who wants to be a part of this or needs a platform. So that's what I'm hoping to do. As far as posting videos, I haven't posted much videos. I've prepared a lot of scripts, but the nature of creative work sometimes is just like you have to let it come to you instead of you chasing it. And so my mind's been mostly on this wallet stuff, and there's a bunch of things I know I should be doing that I haven't done. And that's the nature of this like motivation stuff. It's so easy when you're working alone. It's hard to motivate yourself. This is why if you're going to work on anything, it is nice to have other people with you. Cuz like there are no excuses cuz other people are depending on you getting your stuff done. Even when I was working on the stuff with my siblings, it was a lot. I don't know if it was easier to get it done every week, like post a new podcast episode, but there was definitely that motivation to get it like every week publish something. And now it's just like I only publish something when I find someone who I think could be an interesting conversation. So that's what I do. And so found someone. If you are interested, feel free to leave a comment in the chat if you have something specific you want to talk about, or you just need some views. Because like, man, starting from the beginning, especially when you don't have eyeballs, is really, really tough. It's really tough, and I know it from experience. So, but Table Moments at this point, 155,000 across platforms. I think it'd be crazy to get to 1 million. I don't know what the distribution would be, but it would just be hilarious because it's like it's not about anything. There's no niche. It's just people end up. Here's the funny thing: when you don't have a niche and you just make content about whatever you're interested in, it is a hella slow grind. But the people who follow for you, and so that's nice. Like I don't have to compromise anything. I don't have to be careful what I have to say or like censorship or no. I don't like. In fact, I post things just to push people away because it's like if you're not really about this energy or what I'm bringing here, then this isn't for you, and that's fine. There are plenty of other people you could watch, but. And hopefully this can grow beyond me. That's long-term vision for this. It grows beyond me. It's like, that's why I like it's Table Moments. Like right now, yeah, it's called Table Moments Live with Ayman because that's me. But who says it has to be me? Like if there are people who are a good fit for this and they like the energy and they have content, like who knows? Maybe Table Moments becomes a channel, like a TV channel kind of energy, where you could see a bunch of different types of content. You just know it has a vibe and that's it. Ooh, I'm just coming up with this right now, but I think that'd be really cool. I've met a few people who actually make some interesting content or have some interesting ideas for content that I think could rival Netflix and all that stuff and all the streaming platforms and cable and all that. I think it'd be really cool to turn this into like a variety channel where you get edifying content. So that's where I think I would fall in, but then also entertainment and maybe things with deeper messages and stuff. And then and then it would be awesome if like people have a hard time describing. It's like, what is Table Moments? I don't know. It's a vibe. It's just a vibe. You like it or you don't. And most people, it's not going to be for them, but for some people it will be. Like, I think who are those YouTubers, the brothers who would like go back and forth? They started like a science show or whatever. But I think what if it's like beyond just science? It's like whatever, you work on anything. So like right now I'm selling these wallets or whatever. And so like I'm learning so much about e-commerce and direct marketing and ads and selling to consumers and customer flow, customer service and all that stuff, and dealing learning about packaging and all that. And I could make a whole video series about so far all the things I've learned. I wouldn't say I'm even close to being like super successful at this, but I've learned enough that I think people can actually use this information. So like a video idea I have is like I bought some Yeezy Pods, those weird shoes, and I think it'd be interesting to talk about the value of packaging and how you can position something by just changing its environment so that you can charge more, which is good for like a fashion brand or if you have your own personal brand or something. Right now, I'm selling this as an affordable wallet, but I think eventually I have to sell it as a premium utility wallet. And so this is where the customizations come in. I make everything by hand. This is made by hand. It looks impressive. I know. It looks like it's like, oh, where'd you have that made? I made it here in my little micro factory that I got. I got the laser cutter here that cuts out the patterns because it has to be cut with a laser so it doesn't fray. It's a ripstop nylon. And you even have to change the temperature settings or the power settings for the different types of fabrics or the color of the fabric. These metal corners I put on, I found these online and just repurposed them for this application. I figured out how to get the Table Moments logo on here. And then I'm also including like this reinforcement here, which it works okay, but I'm experimenting with a shape memory metal, which would like hold its shape. And so then I can make it like a tech focused wallet. And then I even put an NFC tag behind the logo so it can actually work as your business card. I haven't released this version of the product yet. I'm going to be working that over the next few days. I'm going to list it and then give the people on social media access to early bird pricing, I guess. Eventually, I think the target, if I could get this to like $49-$50, I'd be so happy. That would be so cool, which would be about double what I'm charging right now, which I charge without the corners right now, without the reinforcement. And then I also have to like figure out the manufacturing process and really nailing that down. And then obviously the attention stuff. See, there's all these like moving pieces that comes with selling something online or selling to people directly. And everything has its trade-offs. And here's the thing with like this has certain advantages, which is why I've stuck with it. Like, I know it's a crazy idea. Why would you get into the wallet game? Men don't even buy wallets, which is true. Men don't buy wallets, but there's certain advantages that come with this type of form factor. One, the cost of materials, the accessibility of the materials, the ease of making something that looks this clean. It looks clean. Like it's look at this. Like it's thinner than a Ridge wallet. The functionality's there. I can add features to it. Like there's so many and especially the shipping. The shipping is the best advantage, I think, because it gives some advantages there. You don't have to pay. I've been experimenting with the shipping options, and it's been working out well, actually. I use this. Let me see. I don't have an example of what the envelope looks like, but it's just a basic manila envelope. But I'm able to print directly on it. So I even thought about the packaging and how can I make it. And so literally it's made to order. Orders come in and then I make it. There's no inventory. And this is sort of like this is inspired by Toyota, the Toyota production system, where it's like just-in-time manufacturing. You make it when you need it. And otherwise you don't have inventory that you have to store, or if there's any issues and defects, you don't have to deal with it. And so I've made over 130 of these by hand and sold them. It's a crazy idea. And every one of them was made after the order was placed. And the cool thing is, like, I can actually make these in about, depending on how fast I'm working, between 5 and 10 minutes to make one of these. If I can get it down to a minute, then it's just a demand problem at this point, which is, I think, the primary problem I have right now, generating enough demand, which is why I've been even incorporating shareability, word of mouth into, or features that could possibly work in favor for word of mouth marketing, which is, by the way, the most supreme form of marketing. If you can nail that in your product or service where people tell each other about it, it's like, then business is easy. That's business. That's easy mode. But that's a hard place to get because there has to be something about your product that people love so much that they tell each other. I recently read this book called Alchemy by Rory Sutherland. And one of the points he makes in there is that, like, about pricing. Like, it seems so logical that pricing things low would increase demand. And if you look at the microeconomic curves, that would be true. That's how it's theorized to work. But in reality, like, people are not rational actors. And so it turns out, like, the best way to make wine taste better is by saying it's expensive. Like, and I'm thinking that might be related to products too. By charging a lot of money for this, people end up talking about it because it feels like it's worth more. And so by having it cheap, it's like, I don't know, it's weird. Human psychology is so weird. It's so weird. But I've been learning it and reading all this books and stuff. And the reason why I have to read it is because this stuff doesn't come naturally to me. People are so weird to me. I wouldn't say I'm on the spectrum or anything. People are very irrational, man. And this is normal. I'm just like, why? It's like, you can't just tell people, all right, here are all the features of this thing. No. You have to convey the benefits of this, and then over a medium like the internet, and then factor in how all the little details can influence someone in their perception of what you're selling them. It's crazy. It's crazy. So I've been trying to figure this out and just learning so much about people in the process. And then also the content helps too. So it's weirdly enough, like the content I post help me understand the motivations people have. But then it's a different thing between getting attention versus actually persuading. And that's what I'm transitioning into, the persuasion part. Can I persuade people? And I think what I'm offering is actually worth the money they would spend on it, which is why I'm okay with it. Normally, I don't like the idea of selling people something that they don't actually could get deep value out of. And so that's why I'm like thinking about I don't necessarily need to increase the utility of this wallet, but I think it would be so cool to include a lot of technology into it. And then I'm thinking maybe even the messaging could be tailored for a tech-focused audience. So like wearable tech and stuff. So I have this stuff called Nitinol. Wait, ooh, I have the thing right here. Cool. Ooh, let me get a lighter so I can show you guys. There you go. All right, so I have this metal here. This it looks like a basic metal. You can't see it. Let me see if I can do it like that. Does that help? Yeah, maybe. But it's a basic metal, and it like bends super easy, right? It's just like, oh, okay, whatever. And it actually feels more like a plastic, but it's actually a nickel titanium alloy called nitinol. And so it's a shape memory metal. This one is a 40-degree transition temperature. I posted a video about this. It's just a quick video as a YouTube short, but for the Twitch guys, you guys might enjoy this. It's pretty cool. So like I have this metal here, right? Let me see if I can, how do I do this? Can you see it? Yeah, there you go. This metal here. And then if I do, let's go like this. Cool. So you can see this. Cool. Now if I do this, check this out. Check this out. Straightens. I don't want to melt my wallet either though. So that's cool. And so the stuff straightens when it gets heated up. And so that's how you can get stuff like this. And so I think it'd be really cool to include this stuff in the wallets, except this one is a 40 degrees Celsius activation temperature. So above 40 degrees Celsius, which is about 100 degrees. It's like 106 degrees Fahrenheit. But I'm thinking like if I get something with a lower transition temperature, let's say like 15 degrees, which is about 60 degrees, then it'll be springy automatically. And I actually have some of that stuff. It's just like trying to figure out how do I like actually activate it and turn it into the shape I want. And so I can include it in the stuff, and then it would be super springy. And then that's a selling point. And I think it's worth adding to the wallets because I just think it'd be really cool. Like, I think it'd be so cool. I don't know. It's just like, it's the only wallet on the market that comes with the shape memory metal. Who would do that? And then on top of that, like, So one that would be cool to just include. So when it comes to like the word of mouth stuff, people would be showing off. It's like, yo, check this stuff out. It's so flexible. I have a thicker. This is 15. It's like super springy. Maybe I should just go with the 1 millimeter. Yeah, this stuff is stiff. It's stiff. But so I think that would be cool to show off. And then I also include a $2 bill with every order, so I'm hoping people show those off too. Again, word of mouth. I'm thinking about word of mouth when designing this product too. And then lastly is the customizability. Oh, the NFC tag. So I put an NFC tag here on the back while still maintaining the RFID shielding, which if you're not familiar, I don't have my phone on me, but basically an NFC tag, you can program it to contain some information, and essentially like you can transmit based when you tap your phone to it and it can send information. So I'm thinking like it could be like a digital business card. I think that'd be pretty cool. And so again, shareability in the product itself. And the thing is with this strategy about like building shareability into it is that you need a sort of critical mass before it starts like pushing itself forward, and I haven't quite gotten there yet. I think I need to get a few thousand orders before that starts working in my favor. But until then, I just gotta like figure this out. That's my bet. That's the thing. Like, there's no guarantees that this strategy will work, but I have a hunch it will. Because word of mouth is powerful, man. It is so powerful. I've gotten a chance to taste it when it comes to like content and stuff, but I think it'd be really cool to do it with products too. And maybe that's what Table Moments ends up becoming. It was an old idea that I had with my brother when he was a part of this, was that we can use this platform to start interesting projects or businesses and then give pieces of that business away. I think that'd be really cool. Just like Mr. Beast, except on a more extreme level, actually turning people into business owners. Or at least giving you guys a share of the business. I think that'd be really cool. And then you guys are part of the whole build process too. So this is why I talk about this stuff, because I think you guys are a part of it too. Like, people have given me advice, or people who've bought some also. But the first customers were people who just came from, I remember the first customer came from a live stream actually. It was on TikTok. I was like, yeah, I'm selling these wallets. He's like, I just placed an order. I was like, yo, it was a week before I even planned on launching it, but he just bought it. So it's like, yo, that's crazy. I should probably send him an updated. Yeah, you know what? I think I will. I'm going to send him an updated wallet. But it is pretty cool. It's pretty cool. I don't know. The internet's promised us that it will allow us all to connect freely to each other. And unfortunately, because of the way these social platforms work and their incentives, and they're all publicly traded, so it's stockholders' incentives, it naturally means that control was actually taken away, not given. And so it started off open and free, and now it's become this very closed off and controlled environment. And so, like, it kind of restricts the things you can do, which is a shame, because it's like, I don't know. It just could have been what could have been, man. What could have been. And I think maybe my purpose, I haven't quite figured out like what my reason is for even existing. You know, one of those like, what are you meant to do? I think I'm getting closer and closer to that answer every day just by thinking about it more and more. I think, I'm not going to tell you what my last name is, but my last name is an English word that sort of represents something that things need to be, like, I have to have a voice. And it's just weird. It's just weird that it happens to be, like, I'm meant to be quotable or something. Not in a conceited way or anything, like a responsibility type of way. I think that's sort of, I think this is going to be a part of, like, whatever I do, which is why it's interesting that I even have it or not. Making content online and stuff, so it's just weird how that works out. But as far as other topics, I don't know if I have much more in me. It's kind of late, and it's on a Wednesday. I think I might have to just split my time between this, you guys, YouTube, and Twitch, which I know the last time the guys on YouTube, they're like, man, you should go more often. And effectively, I've been going live less. But if it's something like this, 30 minutes, I think 30 minutes I could do. 30 minutes a day, maybe with some warning, actually giving you guys a chance to know that this is coming instead of just stumbling into it. I think that would be better, but I think 30 minutes is fine. And then I'm going to give probably another like 30 minutes to TikTok, and then I'll call it like my life for the week. If you guys have any questions or any ideas or any thoughts on anything, feel free to put it in the chat. I do have like, I've written some scripts for some longer form videos, especially this is speaking to you YouTube guys. Like, let's see. I don't know how I feel about making them. They're spicy, not gonna lie. Some of them are very, very spicy. Let me see. One of them's called Mr. Feast. The McDonaldification of YouTube. I think that'd be a really interesting video because like he kind of ruined YouTube. And essentially the hook is Mr. Beast is McDonald's. Like essentially how McDonald's is basic food. It's like, it's not great food. By any metric, McDonald's is the best restaurant because it has the most locations, the most name recognition, the most customers, the most foot traffic, the most accessibility, the most consistency. Like by any measurable metric, you can say McDonald's, you could define McDonald's as the best restaurant in the world, but no one would actually describe it as the best restaurant. And so this is what I think is also true about Mr. Beast. His content is not good. It's just basic and broad, and a lot like McDonald's. But for whatever reason, when it comes to the creative space, people don't make that distinction. And so that's why you have everyone glazing on him about how like he's the best YouTuber, he's the best content creator. It's like, no, he's not. No, it's not. It's fast food content. His videos are hella forgettable. Like, it's great for advertisers, it's great for commercials, it's great for the platform, but it's not great for people. It's like, would you say McDonald's is feeding the world? Like, technically, yeah, they are, but no one would say they're doing a good job at it because everyone has opinions about McDonald's and the quality of their food and what it does to people's bodies. Like, I don't get it. I don't know. When it comes to this creative stuff, most people aren't creative, which is the unfortunate truth. Like, we like to think anyone can be creative. It's like, that's not it. That's not true. That's not true. And Jordan Peterson has some videos related to this stuff where he goes deep dives into the stuff. The median creativity a person has is 0, meaning most people have 0 creativity or have ever done anything creative at all in their life. And so these are the people. This is what all the metrics on all these social platforms are based on, people's perception of what is good. And it's not even people's perception of what's good. They're looking at the metrics. So like for YouTube specifically, 70% retention and a like ratio of over, I think 95% is what you need for something to go stupid viral. And then also swipe rate. So I know shorts. So your swipe, people who watch versus people who swipe away, I think that needs to be over 90% too, or like in the 80s or something. And so it turns out like I mentioned at the beginning of the stream, how most populations are, if you're not catering content to people's base desires and the truth about how people actually are, the vices that people are consumed by, that we're doomed to crave, then your content's not going to do well by default because of the way they measure what is good. It's like, it's broken from the core. And so I don't think the platforms really care as long as they can make money off of it. Again, also money being a poor measure of creativity or elevating humanity, which is also a whole. I could go on and talk about how AI is related to all this and how it's actually not gonna make us better. It's gonna make us dumber. Like, it's natural. It's gonna make us dumber, and it blows my mind that the tech bros don't see it. You know, I even thought about making a video where I was gonna talk about how, you know, we thought we were gonna find intelligent life in the cosmos, but the tech bros say it's in their computers, and I don't buy it. And I don't buy it. Like, no, like, it's just it's a lot to get into, and just, yeah, on the surface it can make pretty images and put together a bunch of copy, but in the end, it, creativity is a different thing. It is novel, unique, different, never been done before. Usually inspired by some higher power. Some people say the universe, some people say the ether, some people say God. It is something different, and I felt it. I felt it when I'm making one of these videos. I know it doesn't seem like it, but sometimes everything just aligns and it just works so well, and it actually doesn't follow any rules, and it's not something that AI could have ever came up with. But that's beyond, I guess, most people's perceptions. It's fine. Um, and then what was it? Some other video ideas I had. Maybe I had it in Sheets. Sheets. Let's see. I also have funny, like, some other funny ideas that I think would be really cool. This is where having a team for a YouTube team would be really cool, but I don't have that yet, so I got to do it all myself. It really does suck, but um, I think I had this other video where it was, oh yeah, about the whole Palestine-Israel thing. I don't think I want to mention any much. I don't want to mention anything about that. Never mind. Forget that. Some random ideas. I guess I could maybe make a whole video or like a whole live stream dedicated to some of the crazy ideas I've had, and some of them, and the few I've actually pulled off, which is funny to think about. Yeah. Let's see. Poetry Instagram account. Yeah, like I actually made that writing a book, a poetry book related to haikus. I'll put it in the chat so you guys can check it out. But haiku, Amazon. I actually wrote a book of haikus related to modern everyday life. It's hilarious. I just thought it was funny, and so I made a book. You could actually buy it. It's real. This is a funny idea. The idea essentially, it came up on the podcast where I was talking about, yo, what if we made a book of haikus related to modern everyday life? The whole relating to modern everyday life is the shareability part, and I think the idea was like, what if it was a social account, like on Instagram or whatever, and it just shares haikus, and then the top poems get included in a book. Now the problem is I didn't have clout back then. Even now, if I shared an idea like that, very few people would actually participate because it's a crazy idea. But and so instead, I just wrote my own book of haikus, and I wrote the whole book, and then I put it together as a PDF, and then I actually published it on Amazon, so you can actually order it. It's here. I did it as a joke, but it's real. So Haikuna Matata, and that's me. I wrote that. I actually have a copy of the book too, so I think it's pretty cool. Yeah, I wrote it. And so funny ideas like this would be really cool to really do as videos and stuff. But yeah. Another crazy idea I think would be hilarious. This is, man, yo, if I could get this idea of table moments bigger, I think it'd be really cool to do these video ideas. But instead of a pickpocket, you know, the people who take money out of your or steal your phone or whatever, what if you did the opposite, a put pocket? Like you actually learn the skill of like taking things out of people's pockets, but then you put things in there. Maybe it doesn't necessarily have to be money, but I think it'd just be hilarious. I'm sure someone's tried that already at this point. Let's see. What other ideas? Airdrop game show. Send media with a clue via airdrop that people have to accept around you. So like this might be great in a mall where you actually have a game and it's like clues. And then it's like a scavenger hunt in a mall or something like that. And it's just like an airdrop. You airdrop it randomly to someone in a mall or whatever. Obviously, they'd have to accept the airdrop, but that's the first clue. And then they would just like, and maybe the airdrop's like, would you like to play a game? That'd be hilarious to do. And I think it'd be in a mall. It would be really cool. Instagram dating app via public profiles. I think this one could actually be very interesting. So I've experimented with Instagram's software APIs, and I think it'd be because people DM each other as a form of dating, as a dating app these days instead of Bumble or whatever, and so formalizing it so you can actually like chat with people who are near you instead of like randomly. I think it could be pretty cool. Starting a soggy cereal company. I hate crunchy cereal. I hate it so much. It like scratches the roof of my mouth. It's an awful experience. I don't know why. But every cereal out here now is just all about like, hey, here's crunchy. It stays crunchy longest, whatever. And they actually engineer it to stay crunchy longer. There's a whole market of people who prefer soggy cereal, who are completely unserved because it's just easier. I don't know who I don't understand why people are convinced that. I don't know. I'm impatient too. So like my favorite cereal is Rice Krispies because it gets soggy immediately. It's a matter of texture alone. Sweetness, fine, whatever. I don't need to add sugar to it, but I mean, like, come on. Like, soggy cereal is better. I swear. Maybe I should put a poll on Instagram and talk about this. It would be hilarious to have a soggy cereal company, or maybe partner with like General Mills or one of these cereals companies and just be like, could you make a batch without that sugar coating that you put that keeps it crunchy? Like, because it would be nice. Obviously, it would increase their stock keeping unit numbers, whatever. But I think it'd be really cool if they offered at least some cereal that's got soggy quickly. So I think that'd be pretty cool. Oh, this one. This is a funny idea. Oh man, I love this one. This one's called blackface. Essentially, it would be. I came up with this when Twitter was still Twitter. Twitter posts on behalf of white people who can then retweet. So basically, like, there's certain things black people can say that white people can't say. And so what if white people want that message out there, like whatever, or they want some sort of messaging out there, but they can't say it themselves because white people can't say it, but a black person could say it. So instead you could get the services of someone who's black to say it. And then if you're the person who paid for it, you could just retweet it. And so it's just like, you can monetize blackness. I think that'd be really cool. And it's also commentary on how, like, despite, inequities, whatever, there are certain privileges that come with being a minority in America in terms of freedom of speech. And I think that'd be hilarious to mock and monetize. And monetize, we mock it through monetization because we can actually put a dollar amount on it. I think that'd be hilarious. But I like the social commentary. And then here's the thing. I know a lot of people who get super triggered by it and be like, oh, this is wrong. Blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, this is art. Okay. What if businesses could be art? Okay. Like, you start a business, turn it into a service to make a point about how you can monetize certain things, even things that you wouldn't expect, like blackness. Actually give it a monetary value when, I don't know, I think that'd be interesting. And then if anyone has a problem with that, I'll just say it's art, because it is art. It's commentary. Poster tile maker, print shop. Ooh, I might actually be able to do this one. So like, how like my walls are bare, but like with posters and stuff, like the problem with posters is printing large format is kind of expensive because you need special printers that can take big pieces of paper, but then also shipping it because you have to roll it and put it in this tube, and the tubes aren't a predictable form factor that's easy to ship. So I was thinking, like, what if you could split a poster into multiple pieces, like a grid, and then you can just upload a photo, preferably black and white. That's how I would start. I actually do have a laser printer, so maybe I could actually do this. This is crazy. Yeah. So you can tileize a picture or whatever image or whatever, and then it's easy to ship because you can just stack them as a stack of paper that's the standard size, maybe squares or rectangles, whatever, and then put it into an envelope, and shipping cost would be $150 at most, because it would be a large format envelope or a large envelope. And they could be posters, and imagine having a wall So it's like a giant image. So like imagine this entire wall here with like an image of something, which if you had to print it out as a giant poster would be really expensive. But because you use 8.5 by 11 pieces of cardstock, maybe, then it makes it so much more affordable to one, print, and then two, ship. And so now you can actually decorate your walls and stuff at an affordable rate. And I think that'd be a cool project to do. Giant posters for, I put the title here. I put some experimental titles. So giant posters for itty bitty living spaces. Yeah, so I think that'd be cool. Another crazy idea is like reverse therapy. Get emotional and angry during the session. I think that'd be hilarious. Yeah, I have a bunch of other video ideas, but whatever. But yeah, I don't know. I have a bunch of weird ideas, and I think it would be really cool to pull these off. I think I'm getting to the point where I can actually pull these off. So the video idea that I'm going to be working on now is probably the upgraded AirPods or the Yeezy pods. So I have a pair, and I want to turn these $20 pods into $200 pods by improving the design of the shoes. So I kind of want to add like elements on there that can make it more design focused. Not actually utility, but actually like maybe adding some branding or logos on there. Like the vulture logo would be cool. Also the Italian flag on there, I think would elevate it a bit. And then maybe even add like some bone structure in there to resemble the human foot, because it's like vultures. And what do vultures eat? Just carcasses and stuff. I think that'd be pretty cool just from a design perspective to elevate the look, but then also work on the packaging too, to improve the packaging. Because right now it just comes in like a drawstring bag. What if I can improve the packaging to a point that it can feel like $200 Yeezys? So I think that'd be pretty cool and then it's also a lesson in packaging and presentation, and how something as simple as changing the surroundings or even the product itself by a little bit for a very affordable price actually elevate the thing to the point that you can charge 10 times the price, which is how a lot of fashion brands actually operate. And so like paying attention to the details and putting effort into the small details that you wouldn't think matter do matter. This is how Apple's able to charge so much for their products. Yeah, the product's usability great, it has a brand and everything like that, but they care about the packaging too. Like even the soft touch plastic, the unboxing experience is all part of it. And I think if I can add that to the Yeezy pods, then I can actually make it feel like it's worth $200 instead of just $20. So I think that'd be pretty cool. A lesson in marketing, packaging, and presentation. And then also the relatability is also there too, because they're popular. It's name recognition with the Yeezy brand. Something people know. It also involves money, which is another obsession of people. And I get to show it off. And then people get to learn too. So there's always this hunger for learning as well. And I think that's also an interesting video idea. So I think it'd be cool. It's just I have to learn some things. I just bought some foam and some packaging. I think it would be really cool. I don't know if it's quite right, but I'll try. Control thrift store RC car with the iPhone on Wi-Fi network. I actually have all the equipment now for that. Yeah. See, I forgot I wrote that down because an idea is probably a decent idea if it reoccurs to you. It reoccurs to you. So, yeah, I might actually be able to pull that off. I actually have a development board, ESP32 development board. I have no experience working with it, but I'm gonna try, see if I can get it to work. I also have a motor controller, and so I can maybe pull this off. I think it'd be pretty cool. And then it's affordable, especially for the holidays. Oh man, if you have a nerdy kid and they enjoy building stuff, that could be really cool for them. But we'll see. Really cool ideas. I can actually do. This is crazy. But yeah, it'd be really cool. Oh man, yeah, I have a lot of good. I think all my ideas are good ideas, but pulling them off is the hard part. Protein bar sampler pack. I don't know about that one, but yeah, yeah. So All right. So I think that I'm going to end it on YouTube and Twitch. Thank you for anyone who watches the replay. I know it's random again. And I don't know. Yeah. I don't have any way to end this. So I'm just going to call it quits. I appreciate everyone who watches. If there's anything that you guys would like to see or have suggestions for the content, please leave it in the chat. Otherwise, thanks for the view. Don't forget to like and subscribe. No, I don't like it if you like it. Subscribe if you want to subscribe. It's like I'm no pressure. You'll subscribe if you want to. And here's the thing. I don't know. Maybe I'll go into this in next time. But like, you know your stuff's good when you don't have to ask people to do certain things. People just do it. And so don't rob people from giving you that signal that what you're doing is actually really good by circumventing that self-motivation that can happen in people. It's an interesting way because like people always talk about you need a call to action. You need a call to action. I'm like, what if people take action on their own without you asking them? That's more interesting and means that you have a far greater connection. And so that's the point. That's where I'm trying to get with this stuff. I'm not quite there yet for a lot of stuff, but I mean, enough people hit the follow and subscribe. I never tell people to subscribe. I never tell people to like or follow or whatever, or like put whatever in the chat. No, I don't. Never have. If you sub, you like the energy. If you don't, or if you find you don't like it anymore, feel free to leave. You don't have to be here either. So like, it's like free, man. We're all freedom of association. Oh, I forgot. I was going to talk about envelopes. I've been researching Netflix envelopes and stuff. It's a whole thing because I'm selling these wallets and stuff. Whatever. Okay, I'm just going to end it. Just 4 minutes, 3.5 minute shorts. Could I do 3 more minutes? Let's call it a even 60. All right, so I've been looking into envelopes and how to improve. That's how I ship these in envelopes. So I'm studying Netflix now and how they were able to get their shipping costs so low. Essentially, they had so much volume. It turns out like the bigger and bigger you get, the more volume you have, the easier it becomes to offer faster and faster shipping. Not that the entire system, I mean, they had to automate a lot and build so much, but I think what's interesting about what they did is how they shipped them in machinable envelopes. Machinable meaning the machines can scan them. That's how USPS sorts most mail. It's machine driven, essentially. And it has all this like tracking and all this stuff in there. And essentially Netflix took advantage of that machine sorting. And that's how I send this stuff to machine sorting as well. And it turns out because it's machine sorted, and if you use USPS's intelligent mail barcode system, which they have an encoder on their website, you can generate these for yourself. You can actually track them, and like you can get information. And it's a bit of software stuff. You have to like do some. I get the information through Postman right now. Eventually, I'm gonna have to build it as a entire app, but I don't have the volume to justify building the entire thing right now. But it is fascinating, really, the mail system and how it works. And so, like, people have asked me, like, where's my order? And in the past, I couldn't tell them, but now I could just look up, okay, here's the barcode that I used for that package. I put it into Postman using USPS's API, and I could tell them, hey, here's the anticipated delivery date. And it satisfied them, and it's true. It's so cool when you have an idea of something and it just works, and you're like, yo, that's cool. Especially like efficiency like that, because essentially it just cost me 68 cents to send these. That's what, because I keep it under 1 ounce, just like Netflix. Netflix strategy was we're gonna send these DVDs in envelopes with prepaid postage, also return envelopes as well. We're gonna use machine sorting, so they're gonna go through the machines. And then we're going to keep it under 1 ounce so we can save money on these things. Because 1 ounce, that's a stamp. One stamp covers up to 1 ounce. And then they also have 2 ounce stamps, which I've had to use for like larger orders or if there's multiple wallets, which people have done before. I think that'd be interesting. But yeah, man, I'm learning so much about mail. And it's just like, I literally had a conversation with a guy this week. And he's like, you seem to know a lot about a lot of things. I'm like, yeah, I'm just curious. I just like learning stuff. And especially when I'm learning stuff because it will be useful in some way someday. Like this USPS stuff, I'm just fascinated by it. I'm just like, How do I keep my package under 1 ounce? What kind of envelopes can I use? Can I maybe make my own envelopes? Like Netflix had custom made envelopes for themselves. I think it'd be really cool to be able to do that, or include, like, Netflix had all these cool designs over the years, and I can technically do that too. I just don't have any designs, but I can print them because I print the envelopes as the orders come in. So I think I could do some cool stuff. So if you have any cool designs that should include on the envelopes, let me know. But yeah, I think I've only done it a couple times, but I should do it more often. But again, I think it would be cool if I built the software that let me do it. Or maybe when you put your order in, you can be like, what's your favorite NBA team? Or like, what's something important to you? And then it'll automatically generate an image that gets put on the packaging. And I think that's pretty cool. But yeah, all right. I think I'm going to call it quits here. I'm going to go on TikTok if you guys want to. Yeah, whatever. Doesn't matter. Thanks for watching.